The Galactic Concordance had watched Earth for a very long time. Their small probe ships floated in the darkness beyond Mars. They recorded everything. They saw the wars. They saw the pollution. They saw humans fighting each other over land and money and ideas. The aliens watched all of this and made their judgment. Humans were primitive. Humans were dangerous to themselves. Humans were not a threat. Fleet Commander Talon stood on the bridge of his crystal warship. He was tall and thin, with gray skin and 4 eyes that glowed soft blue. His people, the Varath, had conquered many worlds. They had brought order to chaos. They had made weak species serve strong ones. This was the natural way of things. "Commander," said his second officer, "we are ready to enter the Sol system." Talon looked at the star map. The yellow sun, the 8 planets, the small blue world called Earth. "How many ships do they have?" Talon asked. "Our probes count fewer than 50 vessels in orbit. Most are small. Research ships, communication satellites, nothing of military value." Talon made a sound that was like laughing. "As expected. Begin the approach. We will make contact within 6 rotations." The Varath fleet moved forward. 12 warships, each 1 kilometer long. Their hulls were made of living crystal that could heal itself. Their weapons could burn cities from orbit. They had never lost a battle on Earth. It was a quiet Tuesday morning. Admiral Park Dohan sat in his office in Seoul. He was 62 years old, with gray hair and tired eyes. He had served in the Navy for 40 years. He had seen many things, but nothing had prepared him for the message on his screen. "Sir," said his aide, "the Americans confirm it. The Europeans confirm it. The signal is real." Park read the message again. "Alien contact. Ships approaching from beyond Jupiter. Estimated arrival, 6 days. How many people know?" Park asked. "Only the top military commanders of each nation. We are keeping it secret for now." Park nodded slowly. Panic would help no one. He opened a different file on his computer. This one was marked with the highest security clearance. "Project Goliath. Contact Europa Station," Park said. "Tell them to begin wake-up procedures. 3,000 kilometers above Earth." Lieutenant Yoon Hannah worked at her station on the Orbital Command Center. She was 28 years old, small and thin, with sharp eyes that never missed details. Her job was to monitor deep space communications. Usually, this meant listening to nothing. Today was different. "I have the signal decoded," Hannah said to her commander. Her voice was steady, but her hands were shaking. "It says, 'We come to assess. Prepare for contact.'" Her commander, a large American man named Bradley, leaned over her shoulder. "Assess? What does that mean?" "I do not know, sir. But the message repeats every 4 hours. They want us to hear it." Bradley picked up his phone. "Get me Admiral Park in Seoul. Priority 1. Far away, on the frozen moon called Europa, something was happening. The moon orbited Jupiter, covered in ice many kilometers thick. On the surface, there was nothing but cold and darkness. But beneath the ice, humans had built something secret, something massive, something that had taken 15 years and the combined resources of every nation on Earth. Engineer Cho Yoonji walked through the underground facility. She was 45 years old, and she had given half her life to this project. Her hair was gray now. Her back hurt from too many hours hunched over computers. But today, none of that mattered. Today, her creation would wake up. "Main power is online," said a technician. "Fusion cores are stable. Weapon systems?" Yoonji asked. "All green. Railguns, missile batteries, and the main cannon are all functional." Yoonji stopped at a window and looked out. Beyond the glass was a cavern of ice, larger than any stadium on Earth. and filling that cavern was a ship. The ship was black. Its armor was thick and heavy. It bristled with weapons that looked angry, even when silent. The ship was 8 kilometers long. It was the largest thing humans had ever built. They called it the Sovereignty. "She is beautiful," Yunji whispered. The technician beside her nodded. "She is terrifying." "Yes," Yunji agreed. "That is the point." Captain Kim Tae-ho received his orders while eating breakfast. He was a calm man of 50 years, with a face that rarely showed emotion. He had commanded submarines, destroyers, and aircraft carriers. But nothing like this. He read the message 3 times. "Goliath Protocol is active. Report to Europa Station immediately. Take command of the Sovereignty. Prepare for possible hostile contact." Tae-ho put down his rice bowl. He looked out the window of his apartment in Bizen. The sun was rising over the ocean. Children were walking to school. People were going to work. They had no idea what was coming. "So it begins," Tae-ho said quietly. 8 hours later, he was on a shuttle heading for Jupiter. Admiral Park held a video conference with the other world leaders. Their faces filled his screen. The American president, the Chinese premier, the European Council. They were all afraid. Park could see it in their eyes. "The alien fleet will arrive in 5 days, Park said. "We have that long to prepare." "Prepare for what?" the American president asked. "We cannot fight them. Our weapons are nothing compared to theirs." "You are wrong," Park said. "We have something they do not know about." He pressed a button. The screen changed to show the Sovereignty. The room went silent. "What is that?" the Chinese premier whispered. "That," said Admiral Park, "is our answer." On Europa, the great ship hummed with power. Its lights glowed in the darkness. Its engines warmed up for the first time. Captain Kim Tae-ho walked onto the bridge and looked at his crew. 3,000 men and women, the best from every nation. They were scared. They were excited. They were ready. "This is Captain Kim," he said over the ship speakers. "In 5 days, we may face the greatest threat humanity has ever known. But we will not face it with fear. We will face it with strength." He sat in the command chair. "Wake the beast." The Sovereignty rose from its frozen grave. The Vareth fleet crossed the orbit of Mars on the 4th day. Their crystal ships moved in perfect formation. They looked like jewels floating in the darkness. Beautiful and deadly. Fleet Commander Talon stood before his communication screen. He had prepared his message carefully. The words were chosen to inspire fear and obedience. He had spoken them to many species before. Most surrendered immediately. The few who fought were destroyed quickly. "Begin transmission," Talon ordered. His voice went out across space, reaching every radio and television on Earth. "People of Earth, I am Fleet Commander Talon of the Vareth Dominion. We represent the Galactic Concordance, rulers of 147 worlds. We come to assess your species." He paused for effect. "Compliant species are granted protectorate status. You will serve the Concordance. You will give us resources. You will follow our laws. In return, you will receive protection and guidance." Another pause. "Resistant species are removed. Their worlds are cleansed. Their names are forgotten. You have 2 rotations to respond. Choose wisely." The transmission ended. On Earth, chaos erupted. The message played on every screen. People ran through the streets screaming. Governments tried to maintain order. They failed. In Seoul, Admiral Park Do-hwan watched the panic from his window. His city was burning. Cars crashed in the streets. Shops were being looted. People were fighting each other over food and water. "Sir," said his aide, "the president wants to know our response." Park turned away from the window. "Tell him to stay calm. Tell him to wait." "Wait for what?" Park almost smiled. Wait for our ship to arrive. Lieutenant Yunhana worked without sleep. Her eyes were red and her hands trembled from too much coffee. But she could not stop. She was tracking the alien fleet, calculating their position, their speed, their weapons. They are slowing down, she reported. They will reach Earth orbit in 36 hours. Commander Bradley nodded grimly. And our ship? The big one from Europa? Hannah checked her other screen. The Sovereignty is on schedule. It will arrive 2 hours before the alien fleet. 2 hours, Bradley repeated. Not much time. No, sir. Not much time at all. Deep in space, the Sovereignty flew toward Earth. Captain Kim Taiho had not slept in 3 days. He walked through his ship, talking to his crew, checking systems, preparing for battle. The ship was vast. Walking from one end to the other took almost an hour. His first officer, Lieutenant Commander Big Jiwon, fell into step beside him. Jiwon was a tall woman with short black hair and serious eyes. She had served with Taiho for 10 years. The crew is nervous, she said. They should be, Taiho replied. We are about to fight an enemy we know nothing about. Do you think we can win? Taiho stopped walking. He looked out a window at the stars. When I was a boy, he said, my grandfather told me stories about the war, the Japanese occupation. He said that when the enemy is stronger than you do not fight fair. You fight smart. You fight dirty. You fight until they are too tired to continue. He started walking again. We may not win, Jiwon, but we will make them bleed. On Europa, Engineer Cho Yoonji watched the empty dock where the Sovereignty had rested. Her life's work was flying toward danger. Her creation might be destroyed. Everything she had built might be lost. Her assistant, a young man named Oh Sang-woo, brought her tea. You should rest, he said. I cannot, Yoonji replied. Not until it is over. Sang-woo sat beside her. Do you think the ship is strong enough? Yoonji wrapped her hands around the warm cup. When we started building, everyone said it was impossible. Too big, too expensive, too ambitious. But we did it anyway. We built the impossible. She took a sip of tea. If any ship can face those aliens and survive, it is the Sovereignty. I made sure of that. The Varith fleet entered Earth orbit on schedule. Their ships spread out, surrounding the planet like a net. Fleet Commander Talon watched the small human vessels scatter before him. They were like fish running from a shark. Scan the planet, Talon ordered. Find their military centers, their leaders, their weapons. His officers worked quickly. Data filled their screens. Commander, said one of them, their weapons are primitive. Chemical rockets, nuclear devices, nothing that can harm our shields. As expected, Talon said. What about their leaders? They are hiding. Underground bunkers. Hardened buildings. They are afraid. Talon made his laughing sound again. Good. Fear makes species compliant. He was about to give the order to begin landing troops when an alarm sounded. Commander, we detect something approaching. Talon turned to the sensor screen. What is it? Another primitive ship? The officer's voice shook. No, Commander. It is... I do not understand. The readings must be wrong. Show me. The screen changed to show a visual feed. Talon's 4 eyes went wide. Something was coming around Jupiter. Something black. Something massive. Something that made his kilometer-long warships look like toys. That is impossible. Talon whispered that the Sovereignty had arrived. Captain Kim Taiho looked at the alien fleet on his screen. 12 crystal ships surrounded Earth. They were beautiful, he admitted. Beautiful like a snake was beautiful. Open a channel, he ordered. All frequencies. Jiwon worked her controls. Channel open, sir. Tai-Ho stood up straight. He made his voice calm and strong. Varath Fleet. This is Captain Kim Tai-Ho of the United Earth Defense Ship Sovereignty. You have entered our space without permission. You have threatened our people. You have demanded our surrender. He paused. We decline. The bridge crew held their breath. You have 1 hour to withdraw from Earth orbit. If you do not leave, we will remove you. This is your only warning. He cut the transmission. Ji-Wan stared at him. Sir, do you think they will actually leave? Tai-Ho sat back down in his chair. No, but I wanted to give them the chance. Why? Because when we destroy them, I want it to be their choice. On the Varath command ship, Fleet Commander Talon stared at the image of the human vessel. 8 kilometers long, covered in weapons. It was ugly. It was brutal. It was terrifying. How did they build this? He demanded. Our probes watched them for decades. They had nothing. No one answered. No one could explain. Talon's second officer spoke carefully. Commander, perhaps we should consider their offer. Withdraw and reassess. Withdraw? Talon's voice rose. The Varath do not withdraw. The Concordance does not run from primitives. He pointed at the human ship. Target that vessel. All ships. Fire everything. The Crystal Fleet opened fire. The battle for Earth had begun. 12 Varath warships fired at once. Plasma bolts flew across the darkness. Energy beams cut through space. Missiles with crystal warheads raced toward their target. It was enough firepower to destroy a moon. It was enough to crack a planet. The Sovereignty did not move. Captain, Kim Tai-Ho gripped his chair as the first impacts hit. The ship shook. Warning lights flashed. But the shields held. Damage report, he called out. Lieutenant Commander Big Ji-Wan checked her screens. Her eyes went wide. Shields at 97%, sir. Minimal impact. The bridge crew stared at each other. They had just taken a full attack from an alien fleet. They had barely felt it. Impossible, someone whispered. Tai-Ho allowed himself a small smile. Not impossible. Just very good engineering. On the Varath command ship, Fleet Commander Talon watched in disbelief. His weapons had done nothing. The human ship's shields were still glowing strong. Fire again, he ordered. Concentrate all weapons on a single point. His ships obeyed. All 12 vessels focused their fire on one section of the human ship. The space between them filled with light and heat. The Sovereignty's shields flickered. Then they stabilized. Commander, said his weapons officer, their shields are absorbing our fire. We're not getting through. Talon's 4 eyes narrowed. Then we will overload their shields. Maintain fire. Do not stop. On Earth, Admiral Park Do-hwan watched the battle from his command center. The screens showed the alien weapons hammering the Sovereignty. But the ship held. How long can they last? The American president asked over video. Park shook his head. I do not know. But I trust Captain Kim. He will not fail. Lieutenant Yoon Hana monitored the battle from orbit. Her station shook as stray weapons fire hit the space around Earth. But she kept working. She was tracking every shot, every movement, every tactical decision. The aliens are wasting energy, she said to Commander Bradley. Their sustained fire is draining their weapons. But our ship has not fired back yet. Bradley frowned. Why not? What is Kim waiting for? Hannah thought about it. Then she understood. He is making them use up their power. He is waiting for them to get tired. On the Sovereignty, Captain Kim Tai-Ho watched the enemy fire continue. His shields were dropping slowly. 93%, 91%, 88%. But the alien weapons were also losing power. Their shots were getting weaker. Sir, said his weapons officer, Chief Petty Officer Shin Yuri. She was a small woman with glasses and a fierce expression. Railguns are ready. Main cannon is charged. We can return fire at any time. Not yet, Taiho said. But sir, our shields are dropping. I know. Taiho kept his voice calm. Let them think they are winning. Let them feel hope. Then we take it away. Ji-won leaned close to him. You are enjoying this. Taiho did not deny it. After what they threatened to do to our world. Yes, I am enjoying this very much. On the Vareth command ship, Talon finally saw results. The human shields dropped below 80%. Then 75. Then 70. We are breaking through, his weapons officer reported. Their shields will fail soon. Talon felt relief flood through him. Good. Once their shields are down, target their engines. We will cripple them, then board them. Yes, Commander. But then the human ship began to move. The Sovereignty turned slowly. Its black hull rotated until its main weapons faced the Vareth fleet. Along its spine, something began to glow. A line of blue light ran from the front of the ship to the back. Talon felt cold fear in his stomach. What is that? No one answered. Captain Kim Taiho stood up from his chair. All weapons, he said. Fire. The Sovereignty unleashed hell. Railguns along its sides fired tungsten rounds at incredible speed. Each round hit with the force of a nuclear bomb. The first Vareth ship took 7 direct hits. Its crystal hull shattered. The ship broke apart like glass thrown against stone. Missile batteries opened. Thousands of weapons flew toward the enemy fleet. The Vareth had defense systems. They shot down many missiles. But not all. Not nearly all. 2 more ships exploded. The remaining Vareth ships tried to retreat. They turned their engines toward open space. They tried to run. They were not fast enough. The main cannon fired. A beam of pure energy shot from the Sovereignty's spine. It was so bright the cameras went dark. It was so powerful that space itself seemed to bend around it. The beam hit the center of the Vareth formation. 3 more ships died instantly. Left Lieutenant Commander Big Ji-won counted the enemy vessels. 6 ships destroyed. 6 remaining. They are retreating at full speed. Let them go, Taiho ordered. Sir? Let them run. Let them report back to their concordance. Let them tell everyone what happened here. Ji-won nodded slowly. She understood. This was not just about winning the battle. This was about sending a message. On Earth, people watched the sky. They did not know what was happening in detail, but they saw the flashes of light near the moon. They heard the government broadcasts telling them to stay calm. Then the news came. The aliens were retreating. The human ship had won. People poured into the streets. But this time, they were not screaming in fear. They were cheering. They were crying. They were holding each other. Admiral Park Do-hwan received reports from around the world. The Vareth fleet has left Earth orbit. They are heading back toward Jupiter. The American president's face showed shock. We won. We actually won? We won this battle, Park said carefully. But I do not think we have won the war. Not yet. Fleet Commander Talon stood on his broken bridge. Half his crew was dead. His ship was barely functional. Around him, the 5 surviving vessels limped through space. He had never lost a battle before. He had never even imagined losing. The Vareth were the strongest. The concordance was supreme, but he had seen the truth today. These humans were not primitives. They were not weak. They were monsters hiding in the skin of children. Send a message to the concordance, Talon said. His voice was hollow. Tell them we need more ships. His second officer looked at him with wide eyes. How many ships, Commander? Talon thought about the human vessel. Its size, its power, its fury, all of them. he said. Tell them to send all of them. Back on the Sovereignty, Captain Kim Taiho finally allowed himself to sit down. His hands were shaking. The adrenaline was fading. The reality of what they had done was setting in. They had fought aliens. They had won. They had saved Earth. G1 brought him a cup of water. You should rest, sir. Soon, Taiho looked at his crew. They were exhausted but alive. Scared but proud. First, I need to thank everyone. They did the impossible today. We all did, G1 said. Taiho nodded. He raised the cup in a small toast. To Earth, he said. To humanity. To the impossible. The crew echoed his words. In the distance, the stars continued to shine. But they did not feel so threatening anymore. Humanity had arrived. 3 days after the battle, the Varith fleet stopped running. Fleet Commander Talon had received orders from the Concordance High Council. Do not return yet. Gather information. Find out how the humans built their weapon. The Council needed to understand before they sent more ships. Talon hated the order. He wanted to go home. He wanted to forget this nightmare. But he was a soldier, and soldiers obeyed. He opened a communication channel to the human ship. Human vessel sovereignty, he said. This is Fleet Commander Talon. I request a conversation. On the Sovereignty's bridge, Captain Kim Taiho raised an eyebrow. He wants to talk? Lieutenant Commander Beak G1 shrugged. Perhaps he wants to surrender. I doubt that. Taiho thought for a moment. Open the channel. Let us hear what he has to say. Talon's face appeared on the screen. He looked tired. His gray skin was darker than before, and his 4 eyes had lost their glow. Captain Kim, Talon said. I have questions. So do I, Taiho replied. You first. Talon hesitated. Pride was difficult to swallow. How did you build that ship? Our probes watched your planet for 60 of your years. We saw your technology. You had nothing like this. Taiho leaned back in his chair. Chief Shin, please answer the commander's question. Chief Science Officer Shin Yuri stepped forward. She pushed her glasses up her nose and spoke in a clear, calm voice. You watched us, she said. You saw our wars. You saw us drop nuclear bombs on each other. You saw us kill millions of our own people over ideas and land and religion. She paused. But you did not understand what you were seeing. You thought our wars made us primitive. You thought our violence made us weak. You were wrong. Talon's eyes narrowed. Explain. Our wars taught us things. They taught us how to build weapons that could destroy cities. They taught us how to protect ourselves from those weapons. They taught us how to hide our secrets from enemies who were always watching. Yuri stepped closer to the screen. We knew you were watching, Commander. We detected your probes decades ago. But we let you watch. We showed you what we wanted you to see. The small rockets. The primitive satellites. The divided nations fighting over scraps. Talon felt his stomach turn cold. You deceived us? We protected ourselves, Yuri corrected. While you watched our surface, we built underground. While you monitored our broadcasts, we communicated through hidden channels. While you thought we were primitives, we prepared for the day you would come. Admiral Park Do-won joined the conversation from Earth. His face appeared next to Taiho's on the Varath screen. You asked how we built the sovereignty, Park said. The answer is simple. We built it together. Every nation on Earth contributed. Americans designed the shields. Chinese built the armor. Europeans created the weapon systems. Koreans and Japanese engineered the engines. Indians wrote the computer code. He let that sink in. You saw us fighting each other. You thought that made us divided. But when we face a common enemy, we unite. Our history proves this again and again. Talon was silent for a long moment. His entire understanding of humans was crumbling. "Why did you not attack us first?" he finally asked. "If you knew we were watching, if you had this weapon, you could have struck before we arrived." Captain Kim Tae-ho answered this one. "Because we do not want war. We built the sovereignty for defense, not conquest. We would have been happy if you never came. We would have been happy to stay on our small blue world, living our small human lives." His voice hardened. "But you came to our home. You threatened our families. You spoke of removing us from existence. So we showed you what we are truly capable of." On Europa, engineer Cho Yoonji watched the conversation on her screen. Her assistant, Oh Sang-woo, stood beside her. "They are telling them everything," Sang-woo said. "Is that wise?" Yoonji shook her head. "Not everything. We are not telling them about the other ships." "Other ships?" Yoonji smiled slightly. "The sovereignty was just the first. We have been building others in secret locations throughout the solar system. Mars, the asteroid belt, the moons of Saturn." Sang-woo's eyes went wide. "How many?" "Enough," Yoonji said. "Enough to make any attacker think twice. Enough to protect our home forever." Back on the communication channel, Fleet Commander Talon had one more question. "What do you want?" he asked. "If you do not want war, if you do not want conquest, what do you want?" Admiral Park answered simply. "We want to be left alone. We want to live in peace. We want our children to grow up without the fear of being conquered." He paused. "But we know that is not realistic. Your concordance will not simply forget us. They will send more ships. They will try again. So we have a different proposal." "What proposal?" "We want to join the concordance. Not as subjects. Not as servants. As equals." Talon made a sound that was half laugh, half choke. "Impossible. No species has ever joined as equals. You must earn your place through service." "We have earned our place," Captain Kim Tae-ho said. "We earned it when we destroyed half your fleet. We earned it when we sent you running. We earned it with blood and fire and the bodies of your soldiers." His voice was calm but firm. "You can try to conquer us. You can send more fleets. Maybe you will even succeed. But look at what one ship did to 12 of yours. Imagine what we will do when we have 100 ships. 1,000. Imagine the cost of trying to remove us." Talon was silent. "Or," Tae-ho continued, "you can accept our proposal. You can welcome us as partners. You can benefit from our technology, our weapons, our determination. The choice is yours." Lieutenant Yoon Hana watched from her station in Earth orbit. She had been monitoring the conversation with fascination. These aliens had come to enslave humanity. Now they were being offered friendship. She wondered which choice they would make. On Earth, billions of people waited. The governments had broadcast the conversation to everyone. No more secrets. No more hiding. The whole world watched their captain negotiate for their future in a small apartment in Bizen. An old woman named Han Sejin held her grandson's hand. The boy was 6 years old. He did not fully understand what was happening. "Grandmother," he asked, "are the aliens bad?" Sujin thought carefully before answering. "They came here to hurt us," she said. "But maybe they can change. People can change. Species can change. We have to give them the chance. What if they do not change?" Sujin looked at the screen, at the massive ship protecting their world, at the captain and admiral fighting for humanity's future. "Then we have people who will protect us," she said. "We are not alone anymore." Fleet Commander Talon finally responded. His voice was heavy with something humans might call respect. "I will take your proposal to the council," he said. "I make no promises, but I will tell them the truth. I will tell them what I saw here, what you are capable of." "That is all we ask," Admiral Park said. The communication ended. Captain Kim Tae-ho slumped in his chair. Ji-won handed him water again. Do you think they will accept? She asked. Tae-ho drank deeply. I do not know. But I think we made them listen. That is more than anyone expected. And if they refuse? If they come back with more ships? Tae-ho looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, more human ships were waiting. More weapons. More defenders. Then we will be ready, he said. We will always be ready. The future was uncertain. But for the first time, humanity had a seat at the table. They had earned it. 2 months passed. The Vareth fleet remained at the edge of the solar system. They waited for orders from the Concordance High Council. They watched. They did not attack. On Earth, life slowly returned to normal. People went back to work. Children went back to school. The fear faded, replaced by something new. Pride, hope, determination. The sovereignty remained in orbit, a constant reminder of humanity's strength. Other ships joined her. The Defiance, built in the asteroid belt. The Resolve, assembled on Mars. The Unity, constructed in secret on the dark side of the moon. Admiral Park Do-hwan grew tired but satisfied. He had served his world well. Soon, he would retire. But not yet. Not until this was finished. Lieutenant Yoon Hana received a promotion. She became the Chief Communications Officer for the United Earth Defense Force. Her job was to monitor all alien transmissions, to make sure they were never surprised again. On the Sovereignty, Captain Kim Tae-ho waited. His crew rotated in shifts, some returning to Earth for rest, others taking their place. The ship never slept. Neither did he. Then, on a quiet morning, the message arrived. Sir, said Ji-won, the Vareth are transmitting. Tae-ho straightened in his chair. Put it through. Fleet Commander Talon's face appeared. He looked different now. Less arrogant. More thoughtful. 2 months of waiting had changed him. Captain Kim, Talon said, I bring news from the Concordance High Council. The bridge went silent. Everyone held their breath. They have debated for many cycles, Talon continued. They have studied your species. They have analyzed your weapons, your history, your behavior. They have made their decision. Tae-ho kept his face calm. And what is their decision? Talon paused. For a moment, Tae-ho could not read his expression. They've agreed to negotiate. The bridge erupted in whispers. Ji-won grabbed Tae-ho's arm. Her eyes were shining. Negotiate means they are considering our proposal, she said. They might actually accept us as equals. Tae-ho raised his hand for silence. Commander Talon, what are the terms of negotiation? The Council wishes to meet with your leaders. In person, they propose a neutral location. A station at the edge of our territory. Both sides will bring only diplomatic vessels. No warships. And if we agree? Talon's 4 eyes met Tae-ho's too. Then we will talk. We will learn about each other. We will decide if partnership is possible. On Earth, Admiral Park received the news with cautious optimism. He called an emergency meeting of world leaders. This is a trap, said the American president. They want us to send our leaders somewhere vulnerable. Perhaps, Park agreed. But this is also an opportunity. If we refuse, they may decide we cannot be reasoned with. They may send more fleets. The Chinese premier spoke up. Who would we send? Who speaks for all of Earth? That was the difficult question. Every nation wanted representation. Every leader wanted a voice. In the end, they chose carefully. Admiral Park would lead the delegation. He had experience and respect. Lieutenant Yoon Hana would handle communications. Her understanding of alien languages was unmatched. Engineer Cho Yoonji would represent Earth scientists. And Captain Kim Tae-ho would provide military counsel. We are trusting you with humanity's future, the American president told them. Do not fail. The diplomatic ship left Earth 1 week later. It was small and unarmed, a sign of good faith. But just beyond sensor range, 3 human warships followed silently. Just in case, the journey to the neutral station took 3 weeks. During that time, the human delegation prepared. They studied concordance law. They practiced negotiations. They argued about what to demand and what to offer. Cho Yoonji spent hours looking out the window at the stars. I never thought I would see this, she told Hana. Traveling to meet aliens. Negotiating for our planet's future. Hana sat beside her. Are you scared? Terrified, Yoonji admitted. But also excited. Think about what this means. If we succeed, we will have access to technology we never imagined. We could cure diseases, explore the galaxy, end hunger and poverty. And if we fail? Yoonji was quiet for a moment. Then we fight. That is what we do. We always fight. The neutral station was enormous. It floated in empty space, far from any star. Ships from dozens of species docked at its ports. The human delegation had never seen so many different forms of life. Fleet Commander Talon met them at the entrance. He had changed since their last meeting. He wore different clothes. More formal, more respectful. Welcome, he said. The council is waiting. The council chamber was a vast circular room. Representatives from the 147-member species sat in rising tiers. At the center was a platform where the humans would stand. Admiral Park felt small. He was one human facing an empire that stretched across the galaxy. But he did not feel weak. Representatives of Earth, announced a tall silver creature who seemed to lead the council. You have requested equal membership in the Galactic Concordance. This has never been granted before. Convince us why we should change our traditions. Park stepped forward. He had prepared this speech for weeks. We are a young species, he began. Compared to you, we are children. We have only just learned to leave our world. We have only just touched the stars. He paused. But we have learned many things in our short history. We have learned that strength comes from unity. We have learned that fear makes poor neighbors. We have learned that cooperation creates more value than conquest. He looked around at the assembled aliens. You came to our world expecting to find primitives. You found warriors. But we do not want to be your enemies. We want to be your partners. We want to learn from you. We want to share what we know. Captain Kim Tae-ho stepped forward to support him. I commanded the ship that fought your fleet, Tae-ho said. I saw what our weapons could do. I felt no joy in that destruction. Those were lives. Those were beings with families and hopes and dreams. His voice was heavy with sincerity. We built those weapons because we had to. Because you gave us no choice. But we would rather build bridges than battleships. We would rather make friends than enemies. Engineer Cho Yoonji added her voice. Our science is different from yours, she said. We solve problems in ways you have not considered. Join with us, and together we can accomplish things neither could alone. The council deliberated for hours. The humans waited nervously. Finally, the silver leader returned. The council has reached a decision, they announced. Park held his breath. Earth will be admitted to the Galactic Concordance. Not as protectorates. Not as servants, a pause that felt like forever. As full and equal members. The room exploded with sound. Some species cheered. Others protested. But the decision was made. Park felt tears in his eyes. Tae-ho grabbed his hand and shook it firmly. Yoonji laughed with relief. Hana was already transmitting the news back to Earth. Fleet Commander Talon approached them. He extended his hand in the human gesture he had learned. Welcome to the Concordance, he said. I look forward to learning from you. Tae-ho shook his hand. And we from you. On Earth, the news spread in minutes. People gathered in the streets again. But this time, there were no screams of fear. There were celebrations, fireworks, songs. In Bizan, Han Sujin hugged her grandson tightly. "Grandmother," the boy asked, "what happens now?" Sujin smiled through her tears. "Now we begin a new adventure. Now we explore the stars. Will it be dangerous?" "Yes," she admitted. "But we will face it together. All of us. The whole human race." The boy thought about this. Then he smiled. "I want to be a starship captain when I grow up." Sujin kissed his forehead. "Then you will be. We can be anything now." Far away, the Sovereignty floated in the darkness. Its weapons were silent. Its shields were down. For the first time in months, the ship rested. Captain Kim Tai-ho stood on the bridge and looked out at the stars. They no longer seemed threatening. They seemed like doors waiting to be opened. Worlds waiting to be discovered. Friends waiting to be made. "Sir," said Ji-won. "What now?" Tai-ho smiled. A real smile. "The first in a long time. Now," he said, "we begin." The stars twinkled in agreement. Humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be the same.